Let's talk a bunch of different topics.
How'd her career get there?
This is a podcast with Lauren Asghari.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for listening. Hit that like button, leave a positive comment, or hit subscribe to get alerted when new episodes drop. All of this will help keep the project going. Thank you for your support and enjoy the episode. This is the Lauren Asghari podcast, How'd Her Career Get There? And my guest today is Brooke Lively, who is the founder of Scaling Law and CathCap, also a professional EOS implementer, and author of 8 books, which we'll get to because she has a new one that's coming out, and also named CFO of the Year by Fort Worth Business Press. So welcome, Brooke.
Thanks, Lauren. I appreciate it.
Geez, where to start? There's so many things that I want to talk about with you. Let's start here. Give kind of an overview of Scaling Law and CathCap.
I think they're really an evolution. So I think more than anything, my whole career has been an evolution. This has not been a straight path. I didn't end up here because I was really focused. I didn't go back to grad school until I was 35. And I ended up worked for a hedge fund for a while, ended up working for my father, running his law firm. And when I started CathCap, I started it because working for my father's firm and running it, I had hired someone to help with sales and marketing. And his clients came to me and said, "Can you do for us what you're doing for your family's firm?" And I'm like, "What am I doing for them?" I'm like, "I'm running a business." Like, what? Well, so it turns out, Lauren, attorneys don't run their practices like this. There is a reason they call it a practice. They really are practicing. And so I started CathCap, which I started as a fractional CFO company specifically for law firms to help them with that strategy and to look at it not like a practice, but to make data-driven decisions like you would for any other business. Mm-hmm. It is now industry agnostic, but yeah. So it was just happenstance that people asked me these questions. But one of the things we did, because we're a bunch of data-driven ladies, because we are mostly, we've got 2 guys. They mostly stay in the background. We have all female CFOs. It's so funny. We keep trying to hire a male CFO and it just doesn't ever work out. But anyway, so we looked at our clients and we divided them into 3 buckets. And there was this bucket that worked with us and their results were like off the charts. Everything was high and to the right. Mm-hmm. Like, awesome. Then there were those people that were working with us that were making nice, steady progress. We're like, okay, that's good. Then there was bucket number 3. And you couldn't tell those people were working with us. Mm-hmm. We're like, okay, WTF, what are we doing with bucket number 1 that we're not doing with bucket number 3? Mm-hmm. So we dug down, and what we discovered is we were giving them the same advice, the same tools, everything just alike. Bucket number 1 was executing and bucket 3 wasn't.
And it shows in the numbers. Everything shows in the numbers.
Well, it comes down to execution. Mm-hmm. Who's going to win the basketball game? The team with the 50% like success rate on shots that shoots 100 times, or the team that has 100% sink rate and shoots 10 times. Mm-hmm. The people only make half the shots. Mm-hmm. They're going to trounce the other team. So it really was execution. And so we dug a little deeper. We found out that everybody in that first bucket was running on EOS.
And okay, keep going because I have like now a multitude of questions opening in my brain.
So didn't really surprise us. We ran on EOS. Gina Wickman, who wrote Traction and all of that, actually had written a quote for the front of a couple of my books. And so, we're big believers in EOS. And eventually, my COO in EOS language, my integrator, took over CAFCAP. And she's like, what are you going to do? I'm like, I don't know. She's like, I think you should go be an integrator for law firms. I think you should help law firms execute on EOS. So that's what I did. And I became an implementer for law firms. And I love it. And that's how I wrote the book Scaling Law in conjunction with EOS. So EOS actually published it.
Wow, I did not know that. So for those listening that don't, so I'm in like I own a business and a technology services business, and I'm in a group with a bunch of different women entrepreneurs, and EOS is a talked about topic. So I know what it is. The book Traction I've heard several times, but for those out there that don't know what it is, give kind of a 30-second overview of what EOS is.
EOS is a framework on which to run your company. Using it, you get three things. We call it VTH, vision, traction, and healthy. You get one vision that is shared by everybody in the company, because so often it's just the founder that has the vision. And other people may have a vision, but rarely is it the same vision. Traction is having everybody in the company like rowing together towards that one vision. Because think about, a ship with a lot of oars. If everybody is rowing in different directions at different times, you're never going to get anywhere. We got to get in sync and row together to that one vision. And then healthy is all about building the culture and having a team that likes working together, who enjoys each other, who wants to come to work, who is happy to be in sync with the other people. So that's what we're looking for.
So go ahead.
No, all you.
So how for you, let's back up to how you even get to this point in your career. So let's go back to like Brooke when she was little Brooke, right? What were you like as a kid? Did you aspire, I'm air quoting, to want to be something when you grow up? Which is, the grow up thing is so funny to me. It's like at any age, nobody.
I haven't grown up yet.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody actually has it figured out. But what were you like as a kid?
So I went away to boarding school. And when I was choosing a boarding school, my father came to me, he was very serious. He said, all right, here's the thing. You need to go to the right boarding school. I'm like, okay. And here's what the right boarding school is. He's like, you need to decide what career you want. You need to decide what graduate school will launch you into that career. What college will get you into that graduate school. And then pick the boarding school that will get you into that college. I'm like 14. I don't know what I want to do. Meanwhile, one of my closest friends' fathers had just green-mailed Disney and had had installed Michael Eisner as the president of Disney after a 30-minute phone call. So he is doing these amazing things, and he has all these really hot guys that have gone to Wharton working for him. And I'm like, So Courtney and I are totally panting about all the cute guys that work for Mr. Rainwater. So I'm like, I want to do that. Because you're cute guys. Because I'm 14.
Right, of course. What matters. Absolutely.
Yeah. So basically, I wanted to do private equity before private equity was anything, before it existed. And so I'm like, okay, Daddy, I want to do like investment banking, and I want to go to Wharton, and I want to go to UVA. Don't know why I was so fixated on UVA at that point, but I was. And to do that, I want to go to Madeira. He's like, great. So I have this whole plan. And
An ambitious plan, by the way.
it was very
for 14.
well
thought
out.
Yeah.
Because, that was what my daddy told me to do. So I did it.
Right.
So at Madeira, we have this incredible program. They've changed it slightly now, but we used to only go to class 4 days a week. And on Wednesdays, we did something different. We did community service as sophomores. Juniors, we actually worked on Capitol Hill. I was the legislative assistant in charge of the Alaskan affair. No, we did not give 7 islands to Russia, just in case you're wondering.
All right. Rumors around.
I got a lot of letters about that. And senior year, you work somewhere where you want to work. So I worked for Drexel Burnham Lambert, which, if anybody remembers Michael Milken and junk bonds, that was Drexel.
Mm-hmm.
So here I am in the late 80s. I have now aged myself. Everyone can do the math now. And I am working there. And I was a nationally ranked squash player. And Penn came to me and said, we want you to play squash for us. I'm like,
Very cool.
okay, so I can change. We'll get rid of UVA. We'll do Penn undergrad, Wharton grad school. I'll just stay in Philadelphia for 7 years.
Right.
Why I would want to do that, I have no idea, but it sounded like a good idea at the time. So I went to the guy I was working for, who was head of the Drexel office in DC, who was a Wharton grad. So will you write me a recommendation? And he said, absolutely. Is your plan to come back here? I'm like, I would love to do that. And he sat me down and he very kindly said, even with an MBA from Wharton, you will never be anything more than a glorified secretary here at Drexel. We have 1 female trader in New York and 2 in LA.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Was that coming from a place of, I'm looking out for your best interests? Or was
Yes.
that coming? Okay.
From total kindness.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready for this battle? Do you want to fight this battle?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, no, I'm not ready to fight. I don't want to do that. I am not some burn your bra feminist that was I didn't want to deal with the glass ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
So I quit
Mm-hmm.
and I drifted until I was 35.
So keep going. So go through that.
So I went to college. I went to a liberal arts college, got a degree that makes me a great dinner partner.
Mm-hmm.
Totally useless on the job market.
Uh-huh. Which was what?
Oh, well, it sounds very impressive. I have a degree in international relations with a concentration in Western European history, language, and culture, with minors in art history, economics, and politics.
Okay. You do sound like a good dinner date. Okay.
I can talk to you. Would you like to talk about the Westernization of Tsarist Russia? Because I can do that.
Right. So
But after 1917, I'm out.
Right.
I could do Russia. I don't do the Soviet Union.
So you go to school, you study that, and then you do what types of things until you hit 35? And what changed at 35 for you?
I go to Aspen because my uncle was up there and he called me and he's like, there are help wanted signs in all the store windows. And I had just graduated from college a week earlier. I'm like, okay, I can go live in Aspen. So I went and lived in Aspen for a while, worked 3 jobs. That was totally fun, a little hard on my liver. And then I moved back to DC and worked in retail for a long time. I worked for Nordstrom. I worked for Neiman's. I worked for Ethel Kennedy, Bobby Kennedy's widow. I was basically her wife. I was her assistant, so I got to live on the Kennedy compound for almost 6 months.
Wow.
In Hyannis.
An experience. Not many people put that on their life bucket list that they've done.
No.
Yeah, very
cool. And so I did that. And then my mother, I went home for Christmas. Well, I'll tell this. This was totally funny. I was back working for Nordstrom, and I had gotten sent to the rack division, which I don't know if there's some non-Nordies on here. Nordstrom is the normal store, and then they've got a discount division called the rack.
I'm wearing some rack jeans right now.
Good for you, but here's the thing about the rack: you kind of have to dig at the rack.
You do. You can find some deals though.
I am not a discount girl, and that was, and in the lingo of Nordstrom, you would pick up a piece of merchandise and you would say, okay, rack this. Like rack became a verb. I got racked. And I was like, I am not a piece of discount merchandise. So I was having a really hard day, and I had gone in at like 5:30 in the morning and worked until like 10 in the morning. I talked to my mother. I'm like, I think I have to quit. She's like, I think you should. She's like, do it. I'm like, all right, I'll quit when I go back at 3. I don't know. Maybe I should. She's like, quit. I think you should. My phone rings like 3 minutes later. It's my father. I'm so glad you quit that job. Daddy, I haven't quit yet. Well, hurry up and do it before you lose your nerve. Who tells their child to quit a job when they have no other means of support? Right?
Yeah.
But I did. I went home for Christmas for the first time in, I don't know how long. Quit my job, not the company. Quit my job. And my mother told me she had cancer. And I stayed home to help her while she went through treatment. Totally fine. She's alive and kicking and
amen.
82.
Good for her.
How old am I?
Good for her. We already dated you. We already dated you earlier in the episode. So
yeah. So she's like 81 and is having 65 people for dinner tomorrow night. So like,
good for her.
Totally
That's amazing. Awesome.
But once we got through that, I'm like, I don't want to go back into retail. And my aunt's sister was running the MBA program at TCU, and she said, I'm only going to be here for 2 more months. So if you want me to help you get in, now's the time. So I applied. And what's really funny is that I went to get a marketing degree, hated marketing. Like there's no right answer.
Now at least there's more data that you can use, but yes.
There's no stinking answer.
It's tricky. Yeah, for sure.
We do this case study, and I raise my hand because, I'm the 35-year-old in the class that I hated when I was in college. Did you have any adults in your class when you were in college?
Not that I remember, but
God, I had a couple. They were awful.
It's like the end of the class, and you're end of class, and you're raising your hand for a question, and yeah.
Oh, I couldn't stand them. They did their homework. They were totally prepared. They asked questions, and they screwed the curve. Yep, that was me in grad school. So anyway, I was like, what's the right answer? And the professor's like, there is no right answer. I'm like, daughter of an attorney. Let me rephrase. What did BMW do in this situation? He said, it doesn't matter. I'm like, oh, dude, I'm so out. And I went over to finance. And what cracks me up is that almost 20 years later, I ended up back where I had started,
Mm-hmm.
back in this finance world, back making companies profitable, back understanding what makes them run,
Mm-hmm.
which is what I wanted at 14.
Mm-hmm. What do you remember learning from either your parents as a whole or your parents individually or other mentors when you were growing up? What like traits did they give you? One or two traits that still serve you today?
Besides never spend the principal.
Mm-hmm. Oh gosh, you're like, oh, I'm hugging you through the screen. So elaborate on that actually. And then yes, like, 'cause I know you were half joking on that, but elaborate on never spend the principal, because financial literacy, I think, is one of those areas that we have tremendous opportunity for in the country.
Yeah. I actually grew up surrounded by an immense amount of wealth. I told you that my friend's father put Michael Eisner, like installed Michael Eisner on as president of Disney with a half-hour phone call.
Yeah,
So he obviously was,
a person of influence and
yeah,
well-to-do.
that's who we ran around with.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't hurting. However, I definitely grew up in a household that was, you don't spend what you don't have. You pay cash for things.
Mm-hmm.
I remember we went to get my father a car one time. The children decided to buy my father a car because that seemed like a good idea.
Right.
We were running the law. I was running the law firm at the time. And so we go and we don't have the cash to buy him a Mercedes. So we get a car loan. They're like, has your father ever had a nice car before? We're like, yeah. Why? They're like, because he's never had a car loan. Like, yeah, he's going to be pretty pissed about this one. We don't buy it if we can't pay for it.
Mm-hmm. I'm laughing, but it's a principle in my house as well. I believe that through and through.
And you drive that car until it dies.
Mm-hmm.
There is no trading it in every 3 years. Just because you paid it off doesn't mean you get a new one. You paid it off. Now it's free.
Yep. Love it. And go to the never spend the principle when you like, and I know, yeah, again, what never spend the principles. Elaborate.
Never spend the principal. So if you put money away, if you inherit money, if there is any kind of money in some account somewhere, once it goes in, it doesn't come out. What does come out is interest and dividends. That is yours all day long. But once it, like putting money in that investment account, that investment account is for future generations.
Mm-hmm.
You're putting it in there and you just get to live off of the dividends and the interest. And you never touch the principal.
Love it. Love it. So never touch the principal. Strong. It sounds like you came from a family of strong that never spend more than you have. And what else? What other traits would you say you've carried with you?
I think buy well, but not a lot. I went on a trip recently and I was going through my closet and I pulled out a dress. I'm like, ooh, this dress will be perfect. And I started looking at it and I was like, I bought this dress in 1999. It was a 26-year-old dress.
Mm-hmm.
Put it on, wore it, got compliments on it.
Okay. Well, the fact that it still fit, nice work. Nice work on that one.
There have been times when it has not fit, but currently fits.
Awesome.
Yeah. if you buy good quality and classic, you don't have to buy it often.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Whatever it is, buy for the quality. Don't buy for the name brand. Don't buy for the logo. Don't buy for the flash. Buy for the quality.
Mm-hmm.
And only buy what you actually need. So our family motto, our unofficial family motto is, are you ready for this? Lauren, you're going to love this. Use it up, wear it out, make it do, or do without.
Oh, I love it. I do love it.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. What when you look at I'm bouncing around because there's so many interesting parts of this conversation. When you look at, I'm bouncing back to EOS. When you look at the executors versus the non-executors, and not necessarily EOS related, but just in your interactions with businesses, what's the difference in those? Like, I get the practical difference of these people execute on a plan and these people don't, but what are some of the, if you're a non-executor and maybe lack some sort of self-awareness, what are the things that you've noticed in those people that are like, hey, pay attention to this, or you have a tendency to do this instead of that? Like, what are some non-executor traits that people need to be aware of?
It generally comes down to fear. It is a fear of making the wrong decision, a fear of losing money, a fear of something going wrong. And what I have learned to tell people is make a decision. We can always make another decision later.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in finance. We've got a lot of people that are in QuickBooks. And you'll get these people that are like, okay, now what do I do? Oh my gosh, I don't want to screw it up. We can fix anything.
Mm-hmm.
We can fix anything in your QuickBooks. We can fix anything in your business. The chances that you are going to make one single mistake that is going to tank your entire company, the chances are so incredibly slim. Make the decision. Not making a decision is so much more damaging.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you make the decision and it's wrong, you can make another decision to fix it. And the people that make the decisions that execute on them are the ones that really see the success. But it's very often fear. What if I do the wrong thing? And what needs to change for you to be able to take that risk?
Mm-hmm.
Or are you a person whose risk tolerance is just so low that maybe owning a business isn't really where you belong?
Yeah. Yeah. Do you ever have those conversations with your clients?
I've had some hard conversations with clients.
Yeah. Those would be tough.
I have told 2 clients in my career that they need to declare bankruptcy.
Mm.
And I did it to protect them personally, financially.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you need to sacrifice your business so that it doesn't come back to you personally.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, we can save this. I'm like, no. You need to let it go because otherwise it's going to take you down with it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd imagine knowing when to do that for people would be hard because it's so much wrapped into also their identity at that point.
Oh, and dude, when you're their CFO,
Oh, yeah.
to say, it's time to raise the white flag and
Yeah.
call it quits.
Brutal.
Oh my God, talk about feeling like a failure.
Yeah. Brutal all around. All around.
It is. Oh, it's awful. And, you're right. Most entrepreneurs, our identities are tied up into business.
Mm-hmm.
That's who we are. That's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we identify.
Yeah.
And to lose that is hard. I wrote a book about 2 years ago about selling your law firm. And there was actually a study done. And of course, now I'm not going to be able to remember the exact stat, but it was something like 85% of people who sell their businesses in the US regret it within the first year.
I've heard that several times. And I think it's, well, you probably have done more research on this than I have, tied to not the identity piece, number one, and then number two, what's my next chapter in this vacuum of a void that has to be filled.
That's the thing. Your entire identity and everything that you do is tied up in your business.
Right.
So when you sell it, all of a sudden you're like, okay, first of all, I've sold my child.
Right.
Because let's face it, you spend more time with your business than you do with your biological children.
Right. Right. I don't disagree.
You created them. You brought them into, got them through toddlerhood. You got them through the teenage years. God, that was awful. Now they're doing well enough. They're adults. You send them out into the world and you're an empty nester. You have sold your child. And it's like cutting off an appendage. So you sold your routine. You sold what filled your day. You sold your identity. You're right. The ones who are successful in selling are the ones who know where they're going next, who have a plan, who have something to go towards so that they don't spend time regretting what's behind them and looking back. And that's what you have to do.
What's the best part of your job?
It's totally the people. So I talk all the time about profit. I make businesses more profitable. That profit isn't just cash. Profit is time, profit is money, and profit is reputation. And that's one of the things that I talk to my clients about. What kind of profit do you want? I had one client and her definition of profit was being able to go to swim classes with her daughter at 10 o'clock on Tuesday mornings. Great. We can build that for you. I've got a client, a law firm in upstate New York. And we implemented EOS recently. And he said, I have plenty of time with my family. I'm like, okay. It's like, but I'm not really present with them. He coached his girls' ice hockey teams. And he was still looking at his phone while he was on the ice, dealing with stuff at the office. Since implementing EOS, his phone is in the locker room. He's really present. So he's got that connection. That's that reputation part. And his daughter's like, holy cow, you're here. You're 100% here. He says that has revolutionized their relationship. Okay, revolutionized is a lot, but it has impacted their relationship.
That's amazing.
And sometimes it is about the cash. Sometimes it's about the freedom. Sometimes it's about being able to leave the office and not have things grind to a halt.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you, and you talked a little bit about it earlier, and maybe the answer to this question is something different, but what's the worst part of your job? Or is it having to have difficult conversations with people?
So I was doing a 2-day annual the other day, and we were talking about hard conversations. And we were talking about the phrase that clarity is kindness. Brene Brown.
Yep. Clear as kind.
Clear as kind.
Yep.
And that's one of the things that all of us at CAFCAP and at Scaling the Law are really good at doing. We aren't judgmental. Did you do a dumbass thing? Yeah. Okay. Are you going to do it again? If you do it again, there might be some judgment. But, generally we feel like our clients make the best decision at the time with the information they have in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said earlier, we can fix everything. I'm going to have to tell you that was not your best decision. I'm not going to judge you for it. And we're going to find a way to get out of it together. But I'm going to be very clear. And I'm going to be kind. I'm going to be very straightforward. And you will absolutely know where you are and where you sit.
Which is exactly what you want in a finance person. It's like, that's exactly what you want. The clear as kind thing, it's funny. We, for like our, I'll call it our internal staff. We have like a sales group and recruiting group and like operations team. And everybody that joins a company has to watch a 5-minute video on with that Brene Brown clear as kind. And then we do every, maybe quarter where we literally go around the room and share what feedback for one another. And in some ways it's like a group therapy session, but in other ways it's amazing because it just fosters this, hey, to be direct I think it's really important to be direct and clear with people, but it doesn't have to be in a mean way. And if it's, to your point about rowing in the same direction, hey, we're all trying to accomplish this goal, then it comes from nothing but a place of good intention to drive the whole thing forward and benefit everybody. So I think about that.
There's a great, there are two things. One, there's I don't know if it's a philosophy but go look up Johari's window.
Yep. I know what it is. Yeah.
All right. So for those of you that don't know, think about a 2x2 grid, because at the end of the day, I'm a consultant. So we love a good 2x2 grid. On the vertical is what you know about yourself, what you know at the top. And on the horizontal is what others know. And so there's that top left corner is what you know and what other people know. I think I did this wrong. The top right corner is what you know that other people don't know. The bottom left corner is what other people know, but you don't know. And Lauren, that's the box that you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there's
blind spots.
It's the blind spot. And there's a great exercise that we do in EOS every year called the one thing. And you go around the room and you say what the one thing is that you most admire about the person. And then you go around the room and you say, the one thing I need you to stop or start doing for the greater good of the firm is blank. And they make a commitment. And if you were sitting at my desk right now, you would see years worth of sticky notes of my one thing commitments lined up on the bottom of my monitor.
I love that. I love that. I love any framework that allows for meaningful, impactful feedback to not only help the company, but to help like that individual also, because everybody, I don't want to say everybody, most people want to do the right thing at work for their teammates and for the company, right? And it's just it's a lack of once people are aware of things, it generally becomes, not all the time, obviously, but remarkable than the ones that really care, what they then do with it.
Well, and it's amazing what you hear, because it starts with the one thing they most admire about you.
Mm-hmm.
So there are generally tears.
Mm-hmm.
I did have a man crying the other day, which not uncommon.
Mm-hmm.
people are really surprised sometimes by the one thing that their teammates need them to stop or start doing. They're like, that has impact? That is negatively affecting? I had no idea.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And it might not be that big of a thing, but it may be having that big of an impact.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it also, I feel like across departments or roles kind of brings people into different perspectives and kind of, I'm running in my lane and I know what works here, but I didn't know that doing that thing impacted operations this way and vice versa.
Yeah.
What for you in terms of throughout your career, what's a piece of advice that you remember getting or a moment outside of what the guy had mentioned earlier, had said to you earlier, that just sticks with you? Or, yeah, I'll leave the question there.
That's a hard one. And actually, I think I'm going to turn it around and I'm just going to give my own piece of advice, which is there is so much value in everything that you do. Don't worry if you're off track. I was off track forever. I didn't know where the track was.
Mm-hmm.
But what's the expression? You know, you have your ducks in a row and they have all those memes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have I don't know where my ducks are. They're certainly not in a row. And I think one of them is a pigeon. Yeah. You learn so much in those situations. I cannot tell you how much I use what I learned at Nordstrom and Neiman's in my conversations with the business owners that I have. And don't beat yourself up. Your journey is your journey, and it's the journey you need to be on.
At the time when you were in that chapter of your life, how did you look at it then? Did you think, I'll be okay, I'll figure this out? Did you think this isn't what I want to be doing and I know it? Or were you content because it was just your current experience?
That's a really great question, Laura. No one's ever asked me that. I think that at the time, I had swung so radically from I'm going to Wharton and like doing this incredible private equity thing before private equity existed to surely I'll be married by 25 and not working.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, why am I over 25 and working? I swung so far to the other side of not having a plan that I think your point of it was just where I was. It was just where I was because I didn't have a plan.
Yeah.
And I was floating. And was that okay? I don't know. I mean, I had a great time. I met awesome people, had wonderful experiences. Wouldn't trade it because if I hadn't done that, I certainly wouldn't be here.
That's the thing that I think about a lot is it's like, if not you, but anybody, if you make an alternative choice to anything, you wouldn't know what the alternative would have been of a different path, and you might like, who knows, like you might end up in the exact same spot where you are, give or take. Or you might end up in a different spot. Or I even think sometimes is like, had you done a different path, that you're in a different city or you're in a different job and you're taking the train to work and I don't know, like the train gets in a train accident. You know what I mean? Like I think about things like that too, versus like the path that anybody takes. It's like you'll never know the alternatives to be able to even judge yourself. So why even spend the brain power regretting some of the things? I'm not saying you, by the way, because but people do.
When my great uncle was dying, a priest came to the house and he said, what are your regrets? And Eddie looked at him and he said, I have a wife that I love. I have 4 wonderful children. I have incredible grandchildren. I've had a wonderful life. I don't regret anything, because if I had changed anything, I wouldn't be here.
I mean, what a perspective.
Like, I need to own that. I need to take that and own that, because, Eddie's right.
Yeah.
This is an amazing place.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not in an amazing place right now, you will be. Sometimes you got to put your head down and grin and bear it. When I got racked, it's not amazing. And, I had a job when I worked at Neiman's. I cried every Sunday night because I had to go to work on Monday morning. I didn't realize I was doing that. My boyfriend told me. I was like, really? He's like, oh yeah, every Sunday night, absolutely, like clockwork.
Yeah.
However, I needed that experience.
It all pours into where you are today, probably a great appreciation for the opportunities that you do have, the things about your job that you do love, all of those things that if everything was amazing all the time, it's like you wouldn't, not you, anybody. If everything was amazing all the time, you wouldn't appreciate the really good stuff.
Right. You can't have happiness without sadness.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have both sides of the coin.
Yeah.
And where we are now is a product of where we've been.
Yep. And I love, all the stuff, the EOS stuff. Writing, 8 books is just amazing. Let's talk about the book that you have coming out in, there it is. There it is. Pull it up. Let's talk about it. Whatever you want to share about it. There it is. How can people find out about it?
Published by EOS, so written in conjunction with them. It is all about how to implement EOS in a law firm. So it's written in lawyer language using examples that lawyers understand, because I heard 2 things all the stinking time. The first is EOS won't work in a law firm. Okay, it totally works in a law firm. I don't know who told these people that. But I would send clients. I'm like, go find an implementer. They come back and they're like, I can't find an implementer that wants to work with a law firm. Why don't people like lawyers? I love lawyers. Father's a lawyer.
I love my lawyer.
I have dated a long succession of 6'2" left-handed lawyers that wear glasses. Even the guys in high school grew up to be 6'2" left-handed lawyers that wear glasses. I have a type. So they couldn't find an implementer. And when they did, they felt like their implementer didn't understand the legal industry. And I have such a deep knowledge of the legal industry after having been in it for so long that was why I wrote the book. Because I want lawyers to understand that EOS works really well for law firms. And then I trained EOS implementers on how to work with law firms. So if you go to the Scaling Law website, you can find implementers that, like me, specialize in law firms. So they speak the language, they understand it, they know what's going on. And then we're building a community around it. Law firms that are running on EOS so that you've got a common language to use.
And who is so law firms that are interested in scaling their business. Is that that's your target? I'm saying target audience, but that's the group that if they're listening to this episode, they should learn more about you. They should get in touch with you because they are your people.
Lawyers that want more.
Mm-hmm. What's the best way to get in touch with you or get copies of the book?
Well, copies of the book will be available February 24th on Amazon.
Okay.
And the best way to reach me is scalinglaw.com.
All right. Perfect. What else? I have one more question and then I have some rapid fire unrelated to what we talked about.
Oh, geez.
But what else have we not touched on that comes to mind for you that you want to share? I just want to give you the floor before we wrap up.
I don't know, Lauren. This was pretty wide-ranging.
It was. Thank you for going with me on that journey.
We talked about things that I didn't realize we were going to talk about. All good, but whatever. I'm an open book.
I love it. How do you define success?
All right, success. Success is, I think success is like profit. I think it is your definition. I think it probably has components of time and money and reputation. Do you have the control of your calendar that you want to have? Do you have enough money to do the things that you want to do? And do you have the relationships that you want to have with the people with whom you want to have them?
Well said. I love it. I'm going to move to rapid fire, unrelated to what we talked about. So just first thing that comes to mind for you.
My favorite animal is a bunny.
Grass or sky?
Sky.
Stone or brick?
Stone.
Watch a movie in or go out?
I actually love, wait, is this like go out to a movie theater?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Movie theater.
Yeah. Okay. What was the other? Go out like,
I was like, are we going out?
Oh, gotcha.
Because I don't want to go out, but I love good movie popcorn.
Yeah. What's funny? Another guest had said that they love the popcorn. That's like a motivation for them to go to the movie is the smell of that popcorn.
Oh my gosh. When we were in college, they opened a $1 movie theater. And so we would pay $1 and go to the movie theater and eat popcorn for dinner. Popcorn, way more expensive than the ticket to get in.
Yeah, right. Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Sun or moon?
Moon.
East Coast, West Coast?
East.
Okay. And two more. Cooking or get takeout?
Cooking.
And last one, astronaut or deep sea diver?
Ew. Can I just stay on dry land?
Not in this game.
And I guess I'm going for astronaut.
All right. That is a tough one. When you think about it, I'm like, neither. It's like, instantly or nothing's appealing.
There's no escape from either one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Like you are locked in and you are really stinking committed. And I don't know that I'm that committed.
I know. Every time I ask it, I think, I don't even know what I would pick in that one. So
I was going to say, what's your answer?
Yeah, I might have to say astronaut because the idea of being underwater that much would be too much for me.
Oh, the pressure.
Yeah, the thought.
Like just
submarines and yeah.
Oh, okay. So I didn't think that I could be in a submarine. I thought you had me out in a wetsuit.
We'll put you in a sub.
Okay, well that's slightly better. And then I start thinking about that sub that, imploded.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in that thing either.
So you're still going to space?
No, I'm still staying on the ground.
She's staying in Texas.
I am. I'm a Texas girl. Born and bred.
I like it. Oh, Brooke, thank you so much. This was fun. I really enjoyed. I appreciate you. I appreciate you going with me on the different paths of the conversation. I think it'll be tremendously valuable to the audience. And I think one of the several main takeaways. But when you look at scaling law and the work that you've done there and the new book that's coming out, I just think that anybody who's listening to this who's in the legal field, definitely get in touch with Brooke. That's a tremendous resource to be able to learn how to grow your business. When you get stuck, it's nice to have people out there that can offer support and help you do it. And then just from the career side, that it doesn't have to be always a clear, direct, I see the path and I'm going on it, right? That you learn things from different experiences and put you right where you're meant to be. And, you're in a spot where you're helping people in their businesses, which then has tremendous ripple effects beyond that. So I appreciate you sharing all of that.
Well, I appreciate you having me on. Thanks, Lauren.
Absolutely. And to everyone out there, we will see you next time on How'd Her Career Get There? And have a good, or hope you had a good holiday season by the time this gets posted. Thanks so much, everyone. Bye-bye.
Let's talk a bunch of different topics.
How'd her career get there?
This is a podcast with Lauren Ascari.